Hey everyone, this is Kevin the Apptrepreneur. Welcome to my channel. If this is your first time here and you happen to really like this video, please do me a favor, hit that subscribe button and ring that bell notification so you can be updated about our near daily upload. So anyway, big news headline today. Although, before we begin that, two stories in this video, stay till the end. But big news story today, big one. Uber has outright come out and said it. They're not hiding it anymore. They have come out to say that potentially 158,000 drivers are potentially going to lose their jobs. That is a high number. What on earth would cause them to let go of so many drivers? Well, if they're reclassified as employees, then they will clearly have to let people go. Of course. However, here's an interesting thing. Uber made this bold claim, and economics got right on it. They said, we don't actually think you're telling the truth on that one. We don't think that's going to happen. So let's look at this. So this is an argument that Uber pulls out every time a bill or the employment debate comes up. They're like, hey, if we have to reclassify people, then we're going to have to fire them. So far, that's not happened really. There have been a couple states that have put some new guidelines on Uber, some new things they have to follow, and what has Uber done? They simply adjust their strategy and their system to accommodate the new laws and the new guidelines. It's actually not super hard. If they don't want you to be employees, they will do what they have to do so that you are not an employee. Granted, they would like the benefit of not calling you an employee while treating you like an employee, but hey, if they have to show you where you're going, and if they have to guarantee you make so much an hour, and if they have to offer some sort of health benefit that you pay into and give you some certain freedoms and start ignoring the star grades, if they have to do that, they'll do it. But they would rather not. They would rather you take what they give you. They would rather be able to kick you off with no repercussion, and they would rather you like it. But that's not where it's heading. There probably will have to be a new classification for this thing, but here's the thing. Let's look at this claim that Uber says it will have to lay off 158,000 drivers. So, and again, they use this, but Uber has been crunching data, and it's come up with an internal analysis of what would happen if it reclassified its California drivers as employees. According to the company, passengers could expect to see prices go up by 20 to 120%. So you don't really know. So this $5 ride could become, $6, $7, or it could become 50. Who knows? Anything. And tens of thousands of drivers might be out of work. Of Uber's 209,000 drivers in the state, the company said 76% could lose their jobs on the ride-hailing platform. Well, here's the thing. Uber keeps touting that hey, their drivers are the ultimate part-timers. That, hey, this isn't a job. This is something you do for extra money. So really what Uber should be saying is 158,000 people won't be losing their jobs or their livelihoods even. They'll be losing beer money. Because that's what Uber's been selling Uber as all this time. Hey, we are the ultimate side gig company. We're the ultimate part-time job. This is not a real job, and yet every time it comes to reclassifying their drivers, it's like, no, we've got 158,000 full-time drivers. They're going to lose their jobs. And it's like, you know what? Your jobs pay sucks so much. Most of those jobs aren't worth keeping. Yeah, some of them make it work. I have had screenshots of people who claim big numbers, and I ask, hey, send me the screenshots. Prove that this is real. One of them did, and I made a video saying, hey, I can see this guy definitely makes money, and he does, and that guy is awesome. He knows who he is. Then you have other people like Troll, as you know, that's what his name is called, as you know, something like that, who, comes on my channel, berates me and says he makes $3,000, and when I ask for the screenshots, he conveniently stops commenting. So, But I don't think most of these jobs would be worth retaining. They pay so little. Even if that's the case, according to Uber, these aren't real jobs. But here's the thing. According to economists, guess what? This might not be a bad thing. Now, the company says Shifting to an employment model would force us to limit the number of people who could drive on Uber in order to manage costs that are fixed per employee. Yeah, and that would probably be better for the environment too. But most economists agree the system would change, that while the system would change if drivers were to become employees, they say numbers like these need more context. For example, rural areas already have minimal coverage by Uber, and some drivers only work a few hours a week. If drivers were employees, the platform would run more efficiently, said Michael Wright, co-chair of the Center on Wage and Employment Dynamics at University of California at Berkeley, which my friend graduated from, by the way. And he said, some drivers who work more than 40 hours per week will reduce their hours. And he said many who drive less than 40 hours per week are likely to increase their hours. And then some people who don't want to do 40 hours a week, they would move on to something else. And hey, yeah, some things don't last forever. So here's the thing. Uber touts out this little scare tactic story every time, like, look at what's going to change. We're going to do this. We're going to have to do that. Well, guess what? California's AB5, it was effective enough in the sense that it got Uber and Lyft to change how the rides worked. It changed how much information drivers got. It changed many things. And they made those changes because they wanted to work within the law and not make drivers employees. What they are doing is they are trying to scare voters and drivers into voting for them this November now that their AB5 exception is on the ballot. That's what they're trying to do. And again, we will look at that ballot. That's one thing I will look at really carefully. We will look at it together. Because here's the thing you have to keep in mind. If Uber wants it, I'm suspicious of it, personally. And by the way, if this was enough to piss you off about Uber this week, let's tackle this story. I considered giving it its own video, but it's like, no, I just think it's scummy and you don't need to get too much. But Uber has sent thousands of electric bikes and scooters to the scrap heap after their deal with Lime. So here's the story. Uber is scrapping thousands of electric bikes and scooters worth millions of dollars after selling its jump unit to mobility startup Lime earlier this month. The firm said it decided to, quote, recycle the older models that Lime didn't want after concluding that it would be too complicated to give them away due to the maintenance and technical support they need. Yeah, but here's the thing. Footage of the distinctive red jump bikes being destroyed at a North Carolina recycle center was shared on social media on Wednesday by user Chris Moffitt, angering bike enthusiasts around the world. And this is what it looks like, by the way. Yeah, that's a shame. So, yeah, look at this. How is Uber good for the environment? I mean, they pollute our skies, they crowd our highways, and they put a bunch of these electric scooters there. These were perfectly working scooters. They could have been given to charities, hospitals, school campuses, whatever. They could have been donated. They say, oh, it was too much of a technical challenge to repair them. Okay, donate them, make them sign a waiver saying, okay, you acknowledge that if there are problems, we're not liable. And if there are problems, it's up to you to fix them if you want to operate them. They could have done that, but no, Uber doesn't care. They don't want to care. And so what do? They just throw it all away. Look, this is such a waste of valuable resources. So anyway, yeah, that's Uber basically being two-faced liars, being con artists, all that jazz. Big shock, right? Anyway, I would like to know what you think of either of these stories. Type 628 in the comments below to let me know that you got to the end. But I'd love to hear what your comments are. Like, favorite, share, subscribe. And as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.